Greetings, future techno overlords, and welcome to the 2012 FIRST Robotics Competition Kickoff. You kids and I have a lot in common. We're both young, we're both full of potential, we both use technology to devise brand new kinds of robots. Here, I'll show you. Build me a robot.
If you say so.
I do. Now, I am a particular fan of the fact that you're using science to make robots that fight each other. I do it at home all the time. I make my Roomba and my toaster battle for my affection. And let's just say that the Roomba will be making my toast from now on. So to get the show started, I'm going to hand things off to First President John Nudis. Quick note, John is a robot. If he goes on too long, just throw a bucket of water on him. It'll fry his circuits and shut him right down. Take it away, John.
Thanks, Stephen. Good morning, FRC. We're excited to begin our 21st year. FIRST is about innovation. It's about giving all of you the tools you will need to envision and create a future brighter than today. At FIRST, as in life, everything is about balance. FIRST wants you to get comfortable taking risks. We want you to try, fail, learn, and improve. It is a competition, so every risk you take needs to be balanced with the rules of the game and your time constraints. FIRST also expects fierce competition, but balanced by unqualified consideration and respect for each other. FIRST requires you to think independently, but also to learn from your mentors. We want you to be the best you can be, but also make sure your teammates are too. Making decisions in high-pressure situations is a critical skill at FIRST, and it gets even more important throughout your life. FIRST has more than 300,000 kids from throughout the world, and our leaders know what you are doing is critically important for our future. It's my honor to introduce you to someone who understands the importance of FIRST in the world, President George W. Bush.
American inventions have consistently improved lives around the world. Through FIRST, my friend Dean Kamen has created a forum where innovation and creativity thrive. Talented young people like you now have the opportunity to apply your talents to science and technology. You are our future science and engineering leaders, and America needs your energy and intellect. I want to thank you for participating in this important program. I appreciate your willingness to spend your time doing something very important, investing in your future. And I thank you for using your God-given talents to their fullest. Have a great season, good luck, and may God bless you.
Now, without further ado, here's FIRST's head coach, Walt Havenstein.
Thanks, John, and good morning, FRC. I'm pleased to be part of this kickoff because I want you to know that what you do at FIRST really matters. It matters that you are inspired to do your best and to be first in what you do and how you do it. It matters that you dream big because it is our goal to help you pursue those dreams. We want this competition to help prepare you for your future and teach you how you can realize your hopes and dreams through science, technology, engineering, and math. I hope this competition is your first step in a long journey of exploration and invention. FIRST's highest award, the Chairman's Award, honors teams that have gone beyond building a robot to making connections with mentors, competitors, schools, and communities. Chairman's Award recipients are role models for a culture that honors science and technology and the best in ourselves. Last year's Chairman's Award winner was team number 359, the Waialua Hawaiian Kids.
As the very first robotics program from the state of Hawaii, we on Team 359 have spread our spirit of aloha far from our sandy shores. Waialua, a small community on the north shore of Oahu, was once home to the world-famous Waialua Sugar Mill. When the mill closed in 1996, the community was faced with an economic void that still exists today. In the search to fill that void, the Hawaiian kids are taking the lead. Through guidance from inspiring mentors, each student learns that with science, technology, engineering, and math, we can continue to transform our community and culture as we build towards a brighter future.
I'm a 2009 graduate and have been involved with FIRST Robotics since I was in high school. I was on the documentation team and I now serve as a documentation and outreach mentor. FIRST really made me realize the importance of communication and public relations, which is why I'm now in the honors program studying journalism and political science so that I can someday work in international relations.
I am a recent grad of the University of Hawaii at Manoa with a degree in electrical engineering. Currently, I work as a nuclear engineer for the Department of Defense. My participation in FIRST Robotics was a big part of why I became an engineer.
Because the Waialua Robotics program is more than just a class or club, we have more time to do a tremendous amount of outreach and mentoring in order to strengthen our bonds to the community, state, and beyond.
Our school is considered a rural school, a pretty isolated community from the rest of the island and state. That isolation has been a great challenge that we've overcome through the help of a core of dedicated mentors and strong partnerships with local businesses.
In the battle against economic depression, Team 359 is first in line. Due to the implementation of a long-term sustainability plan, the Waialua Robotics program will be able to maintain itself well into the future. Team 359 works to spread the mission of FIRST 365 days of the year, while always making sure to put Dean's homework first. Our First in a Flash program serves as a helpful guide for other teams with instructional videos, statistics, and supporting documents. Each year we strive to further FIRST, not just in our home state where we plan to soon have a robotics team in every high school, but also overseas, beginning with our first Asia-Pacific expansion in 2008. Each year since then, we have traveled to Japan to foster relationships there so that we can spread FIRST across Asia, while also consulting with Guam and others in the Pacific. We were also instrumental in bringing an FRC regional to the state of Hawaii and continue to see that it is successful as members of the Hawaii Regional Planning Committee. We collaborated with former Governor Linda Lingle on her STEM initiative bills, serving as an authority on FIRST and testifying of the positive impact it has on sustaining innovations in education.
Well, this is very impressive, not just the robotics part, the technical part, but that there's a place for all students on the robotics team, and these students are outstanding because they not just try to be a great team themselves, but they mentor other teams. So it shows you that Waialua is not just about themselves, they're about helping others as well. And I think that's a great lesson to teach.
I encourage you all to apply for the Chairman's Award this season. Cooperation will count more than ever in this year's FRC competition. Now it's my honor to introduce former President of the United States, Bill Clinton, to tell you a bit about why that's important.
I'm so glad to have the chance to speak to all of you at the FIRST Robotics Competition Kickoff. You've learned things today through this competition that will serve you for the rest of your life, no matter what kind of work you choose to pursue. The way this competition is built, you'll gain more individually by supporting the efforts of your competitors than you'd gain if you just worked alone. I know it's counterintuitive, but it is powerful and transforming. And it's not just a device to make you show good sportsmanship. It's a fact of what works in the world we live in today. Globalization means we're more connected than ever before, even with our adversaries, and that it's crucial that we find a way to work and to succeed together. We have to build a future of shared prosperity. I've found throughout my career we can all accomplish more when we collaborate than when we fight. Some of our best innovations have come from totally unexpected partnerships. So I wish you and your competitors the very best of luck as you pursue the challenges and the opportunities ahead of you.
And now, a man whose name says he should have been a cartoon character. Please welcome Dr. Woody Flowers.
Good morning. Well, here we go again. Now, I'm not going to give you a PowerPoint presentation, but I do think I want to start with a marker point presentation. Now, it may seem a little late to ask this question, but I want to talk about why FIRST. Well, that's not going to work. I guess we better flip this. Okay, now let's take a closer look. Some of you are going to do this project because it's fun. And many of you want to do it because you spend time with your friends. And there's lots of good reasons to have FIRST on your resume. It may help you get into the college of your choice or get a job. And these are all good reasons, but our sponsors and most people in the world want to imagine that FIRST can help improve STEM education. And there seems to be no doubt that we need more engineers. It's also very clear that we need to increase productivity in the entire workforce. Those are also good reasons. These things across the top are about you and about your team. These things across the bottom are about society and about our precious planet Earth. So now that we have framed the question, let's notice that these things are looking inward and these are looking outward. Let's make some space and take a closer look. Right in the middle is you. And you are surrounded by a very complex world that we adults have created for you. Now, those of you who are in St. Louis heard me argue that in order to be competitive in this complex world, you have to have comparative advantage when compared to the thousands of smart people that are out there. And you have to be able to do things that very precise and fast robots cannot do. And you also have to have an advantage over supercomputer systems. And the good news is that you have the first advantage. You will have learned a lot about robots. You'll know a lot about computers. And through gracious professionalism, you will be able to work with the many other intelligent people on the planet. But there are three things that you must also do. And you have to be willing to do some serious thinking. Now, this is the subtle side of the triangle. Informed is necessary but not sufficient. I hope that in your schools you're learning a lot of stuff so that you will be informed. If you're not learning it in your school, you're responsible yourself. If it's written in a textbook, you should be willing and able to learn it by yourself. But you need to think about your future and this axis. And along this edge, let me give you some homework. There will be links at the FIRST site that will allow you to listen to Steve Jobs' graduation address to Stanford. Wonderful comments about having passion for your career and what it's like to try to be very creative. On the other extreme, read the transcript of David Foster Wallace's presentation at graduation of Kenyon College. It's heavy. He makes a strong point about the difference between just learning to think and learning to pick what you think about. Now there's a nice middle ground that is Elizabeth Gilbert's TED conference presentation. She was the author of Eat, Pray, Love. She says some very nice things about what it's like to try to have a career in a world where everyone pushes back against creativity. So let's come back now to the big one. There are lots of models of creativity, of creative process out there. Let me use one that David Wallace, the faculty member at MIT who teaches the senior design course, has developed. All projects have a time axis. So let's imagine that this is today, kickoff, and this is ship date for the robot. There's also an axis that we'll call the precision thinking axis. And Dave makes the point that in the beginning of a process, of a project, you think broadly, very creatively, and non-judgmentally. The night before you ship, you better be thinking very precisely and carefully and in depth. So let me fill in the rest of the diagram. Now you can see that at any one time, there is a ratio that one should apply to how creative you are versus how detailed you are. In fact, this is a fractal diagram. All the little tiny projects that occur along the way look the same way. You have to know where you are in the process. Good designers, be they doing videography or marketing or engineering design, know that in this end, you want to reserve judgment. You want to be free. In this end, you certainly do not want to exercise dreaming or wishful thinking. You must use a very realistic imagination. So pay attention to this process as you go through it. Now, if you look at the website for MIT's Senior Design course, a lot of this information is there. Spend some time there, you can learn quite a lot. So as I finish and draw the final square, you recognize that we're back at familiar FIRST geometry. So let me summarize. I argued that being informed is not enough. Knowing calculus is not rocket science, but knowing how to think using calculus is. Creativity is not a thunderbolt that comes out of the sky. It's something that we all have, and we can enhance not only our ability to be creative, but our self-confidence about relying on creativity. I guarantee you that if you do some of this homework I've outlined and you pay attention to the creative process, you can double the impact that this first season can have on you, and definitely improve the chances that you can get into the college that you want and get the job that you want. So none of this is easy, but help is everywhere you look. Let's listen to Jean Zhang and Stephen Hall, both FIRST alum, talk about FIRST scholarships.
Hi, I'm Jean Zhang, a FIRST alum of Team 830, the Rat Pack. Back in high school, I didn't even know what engineering was until I joined Team 830. I learned so much from the wonderful mentors and my teammates. My experience with FIRST was so rewarding that I decided to pursue engineering in college. I attended MIT for undergrad, thanks to a FIRST scholarship. Now I'm a PhD student in mechanical engineering at Yale University, researching human-machine interface design.
And I'm Stephen Hall, an FLL veteran and alum from FIRST Tech Challenge Team 252, the Robot Warriors. I'm a sophomore engineering undergrad here at Yale, where I work in the robotics lab researching prosthetic hands and mechanical grasping. I always knew I wanted to be involved in engineering, but there's more to it than just the technical stuff. My time with the Robot Warriors taught me to be a good designer, a good leader, and a good teammate.
There are more than 600 scholarships from over 130 institutions, totaling over $14 million for students who participated in FIRST. Last year, 1 out of every 4 students who applied for a FIRST scholarship was offered one. Some scholarships are for math, science, and engineering, but many are for any major.
FIRST is an amazing program that really gives you a head start when you get to college. A FIRST scholarship can help you along the way.
It certainly helped me pay for school, so be sure to apply for a FIRST scholarship. To find out more, check out the FIRST website for scholarships.
So as we say at Yale, bula bula, which really means
good luck and go teams.
Hello to all my friends at FIRST, and congratulations as you embark on this amazing competition. I'm a huge fan of FIRST and was very privileged to attend last year's championship in St. Louis. And what I witnessed was truly amazing and inspiring. Young, bright minds who hold the keys to our future. A future that will be shaped and defined by breakthroughs in science as well as technology. I can't think of more noble work. As you're learning, work is more than a place to go or a task to do. Instead, work can and should be about exploring, about creating, about growing, and achieving great things, both for yourself as well as for others. Like all of you at FIRST, Coca-Cola is committed to making a difference, a positive difference in the world with innovations that protect our planet and also improve people's lives. A top priority for us is increasing access to clean, safe drinking water in Africa, in Asia, in Latin America, and beyond, where women and children can spend all day carrying water. And there's hope. A wonderful friend of ours, someone you may know, has helped create a new way to purify water, to create clean drinking water, safe drinking water. And he's working closely with us at Coca-Cola to help people in Ghana, in places in Latin America and elsewhere enjoy happier, healthier, and more productive lives. He goes to work every day, very, very eager to explore, to create, to achieve, and make the world a better place. Please welcome my good friend and FIRST founder, Dean Kamen.
So, welcome to West Wind, and welcome to the 21st FIRST Kickoff. And it's going to be a great year, I'm sure. We've already heard from some great people, some of whom have been supporters for a very long time, some of whom are just getting hooked. And we're going to hear during this kickoff from a lot of other great supporters. Some might surprise you, some new ones. Each one has a message. You've heard some of them. I was asked and scarily given notes to, rather than give you any specific message, to maybe remind everybody of what FIRST is about and what it's always been about. Sometimes that's hard to do in the heat of competition. But when I started this thing, we gave it a name, FIRST. First of all, it doesn't have the word education in it, or jobs, or STEM, or FIRST, for inspiration and recognition of science and technology. The goal, I said it when we started and I'll say it again, it's a modest goal. We want to change the culture of the United States. I thought it would be much easier than it's turned out to be, but we're making great progress. We are. How do you change a culture? What is a culture? First of all, culture, by definition, is a whole lot of things. There's a lot of people in this country. So when I started, I had a focus. I really did believe that the aspect of culture that I wanted to change was to get this country, and maybe this world, certainly the developed world, refocused on the importance of science and technology, to recognize that, to inspire kids, to convince them of how cool it is. And the great irony to me more than 20 years ago was we are more and more dependent on technology all the time, but we take it for granted, and it's so much like magic that a whole lot of people are less inspired and less aware of technology than they were even in my own lifetime. And I thought that's a really bad sign. It's dangerous. If we don't stay on our game and keep moving, we will fall behind and we will all regret it. The irony is nothing moves faster than technology, and it's the one place where we can't afford to fall behind. To put that in perspective, we've been at it 20 years. 20 years doesn't seem like a long time to most people. It's longer than the lifetime of all of the kids that are going to compete in this competition this year. None of them were born when we started this thing. On the one hand, it's also incredibly short in the lifetime of technology. I was thinking about that listening to Will. Arts, they don't move that fast. That's not a good or bad, it's a fact. I mean, Romeo and Juliet, what's that, 400 years ago? You skip forward to 1960 from 1660 and you get West Side Story. Boy meets girl, tragedy, same story. So, sports. I mean, think of sports. You know, 60 years ago would be what? The 1950s? You can go turn on television now and look at sporting events. They had slightly different uniforms. Some of it's not as chic as today, but basketball, football, they're pretty much the same. That's 60 years. My grandfather was alive in 1903. My grandfather, who I remember very well, was alive in 1903 when, for the first time, a human being got off the ground and flew in a heavier-than-air powered machine. My grandfather was also alive in 1969 when NASA put a guy on the moon and brought him back. That's one human lifetime. It's astounding how fast technology moves. It's terrifying to think that we may have a culture in which most of the kids aren't keeping up with that, aren't even amazed by that. So I thought we better fix this. How do you do that? How do you change a culture? I started with all the tech companies that need these kids. I started with the tech companies because I thought there's the role models. And we grew pretty well for the first few years, focused on that population. But I always knew the metric for FIRST would be, we've got to be in the popular culture, like sports and entertainment. We've got to be in the hearts and minds of political leaders. We've got to be as much part of the culture as all the other things that, frankly, are distractions. So how are we doing? I normally get up and start giving you specs like, we have 100,000 volunteers and mentors, and we have nearly 60 regionals. We have teams coming from over 60 countries. We have Junior First Lego League and First Lego League and First Tech Challenge and FRC. We got 140 some odd universities and $15 million in scholarships. So I'm not going to tell you any of that this time. I'm going to give you a report card on how I think we're doing after 20 years at the high level. Are we affecting the culture? Well, do we need political involvement, I'd say, to prove that? In the 20 years that FIRST has been around, there have been 4 presidents of the United States. And we all know every year they throw out that first ball of the baseball season. Every year they bring the winners of the World Series or the Super Bowl to the White House. That's a powerful statement about our culture and what's important and what we celebrate. I'm happy to tell you that all 4 of those presidents, 2 Republican, by the way, and 2 Democrats, all 4 of them have brought our winners to the White House. Not bad. So, but you need more than just maybe that symbol of we're important and get recognized. To show you how technology has become more important to every aspect of life, this is the first administration that's had a chief technology officer for the United States. And he's part of this kickoff, and he's committed to FIRST. If there's any symbol of a government agency that's about science and technology, that's the poster child for what technology can do, it's NASA. The chief administrator of NASA, Charlie Bolden, is a huge sponsor of FIRST and a believer, and he's part of this kickoff. And Dave Lavery's out here somewhere. He's a long-time supporter, and as you'll see, as he always does, he's a fantastic part of making this kickoff exciting. But we also, to be part of the culture, we need news coverage. We need popular media. We need humor. Until they're making fun of you on late night TV, you're not part of our culture. And there's only one credible source of news left in this country, Stephen Colbert. And he's part of this kickoff. And as we expanded hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of technology companies to be part of the culture, we had to start getting to the companies that kids actually buy stuff from every day and visit every day, that are in all the malls. So over the last couple of years, for instance, we got a giant retailer, one of the biggest retailers in the country, JCPenney, whose chairman, Mike Ullman, joined our board. And this year, that retailer is supporting a FIRST team from every community where they have their stores. There will be over 900 JCPenney teams participating this year. And you can't be part of the culture without the entertainment community. And how about for an icon from the world of entertainment, the guy that did last year's halftime show at the Super Bowl, the guy we all saw here do our show last year, will.i.am. He's committed, and I think he's going to bring a lot of the attention of the rest of the entertainment community to help build FIRST. And as long as we're talking about big retailers and the sector of our economy and our business that creates a lot of our culture, they create excitement, they create demand, they create the heroes. Well, there's one company out there that sort of stands unchallenged as the largest supporter of sporting events, the largest sponsor of the International Olympics, the largest sponsor of the World Cup. They're one of the iconic brands in the world. Coca-Cola. Their chairman is now committed to helping grow FIRST and make us more known to a whole generation. So. And then some of our forever supporters. But just to remind you that when we become part of the culture, we can't do it at the expense of losing what we are. The guy that brings you things like gracious professionalism. The father of using real-life competitions and excitement to give students a way better understanding of the real world of science and technology and engineering than the classic lecture hall. Woody Flowers. And just representative of some of that great giant industry that we've depended on for mentors and for all the early support and all our continuing growth. The role models that we want to pair our kids up with all the time. The largest sponsor in this state for many years while he was its chief, and now the CEO of SAIC and the chairman of the board of directors of FIRST, Walt Havenstein. So, to me, I will continue to measure FIRST, and I hope you all remember this in the pitch battles that you're in on those fields. My metric for FIRST isn't which robot won. It's whether we can continue to bring together all the disparate pieces of this very free culture, where people, particularly kids, are free to do whatever they want with their time. Sadly, most of those kids have all that freedom, but maybe not a lot of judgment. And it's easy to distract them in a culture that has lots of distractions. But I'll measure FIRST and our success by whether we continue to bring presidents and government organizations and industry and retailers and media and the arts together to celebrate something that's really important. I know these days everybody talks about, well, it's good because of jobs and it's good because of STEM. And you know, I don't think any great innovator, any great technologist I've met in my own life or I've read about, whether it's Wilbur and Orville or Thomas Edison or back in his day, Galileo, I don't think any of these people got up in the morning trying to do something really big, really innovative, because they wanted a job. I think you don't have to worry. Those people that are in this for that reason, trust me, if we create a generation of passionate, smart, well-educated, informed kids willing to take reasonable risks, educated risks as they try new things, if we create a passionate generation that understands the power of technology and how to apply it, trust me, they'll have jobs. That's a consequence of what they'll have. If FIRST succeeds, what we will have is maybe a rebirth of a society that believes that the future can be, I think it has to be, better than the past. And that can only happen if well-prepared people are willing to focus and work hard solving really big problems. In 1903, getting off the ground was a big deal. I don't think anybody could have even imagined in 1903, when they saw that thing go 100 feet, that they would be alive when we put people on the moon. And I don't think there are too many people in this room that have any grasp on what this world could and should look like in 60 years from today. But I believe it doesn't happen by accident, and it won't happen here in a way that we'll all be proud, unless our culture, a rich, free culture, figures out how to get all these different disparate groups working hard to celebrate the importance and the fun and the accessibility of science and engineering and technology, and convince kids of what they can do with that, and prepare them for what they have to do with that. And that's what FIRST is about. So to all of you that have been doing this for years, I hope you remember that's a much bigger challenge than building the best robot. It's even a much bigger challenge than thinking we're preparing people for jobs. That stuff will take care of itself. I hope you remember that we are on a much bigger mission. We're going to change the culture. We're going to make sure that we build a future, a 21st century that's way more exciting than the 20th century. And I'm counting on everybody that's part of FIRST, this very, very rapidly growing and diverse family, to help us do that. In that regard, it wouldn't be me without homework. And I mentioned a whole bunch of disparate people and organizations, but I did that in part for a reason. If we're going to change the culture as a group called FIRST, people have to know who we are. Will.i.am says he's going to make us loud. What's he going to make loud? FIRST. We don't say the president. There's President Obama or President Bush or President Clinton. It's NASA. We know what NASA is. We didn't say the guys with the rockets. It's not the soft drink company. It's Coke. It's JCPenney. It's Will.i.am. And yet, last year's homework assignment, don't say you're on a robotics team. You're on a FIRST Robotics team. You're not in Lego League. You're in FIRST Lego League. You're not on Team 123. You're on FIRST Team 123. How hard is it, people? I asked you to do a good job of promoting our brand. Do it. So the first part of the homework, we have a name. Use it. Be proud of it. Second part of my homework, last year again, now I'll be a little more assertive. We started the Dean's List program. Like all schools that have Dean's Lists and class presidents, mostly they sucker kids into taking that job so that they'll be around to arrange the reunions. They'll be around, right? But FIRST has been really good at growing, but not so good at keeping track of our alumni, which is huge. And it ought to be a very powerful group of people. Most of them now have gone through high school, gone to college, gone into companies, and are in some pretty senior positions in those companies, or have started their own companies. We need all of these people. So we said the way we're going to do it is in every class, we're going to ask you to nominate a couple of students to be on the Dean's List. Nominate juniors. It's going to be really good for their college applications. And colleges really like FIRST. You all know the data on that, but there's a lot of colleges fighting to get access to our kids, and for very good reasons. So, the second part of my homework, please every team, work hard at identifying a couple of students that you believe are not only exceptional at whatever their function or task is on your team. These are going to be the students that we're going to depend on as they go on next year and throughout their careers to keep the alumni together and growing and involved, because FIRST has to be a loud voice in our culture, and it has to be a whole lot of people. And I think everybody in this room is pretty proud of being involved with FIRST. Let's make the world proud of us. Let's remember they're all going to be watching us over the next 6 or 8 weeks of this season. I look forward to seeing you all at regionals and at the championship. So thank you and good luck.
And by the way, I want to remind you about our expanded FIRST Lights initiative that lets you sell LED light bulbs to raise money for your teams. Our light bulb program is a proven success. Last year, 450 teams raised over $500,000. That's over 20% of the money those teams needed. This program is the ultimate in sustainability. Teams can become self-sustaining while creating a cleaner world. This year, we have new LED bulbs that come in 40 and 60 watt equivalents. And they're dimmable. These new bulbs also have a 5-year warranty, something you'll never see on a traditional light bulb. And speaking of guarantees, if you keep making this program a success, I'll keep bringing in the latest and greatest technology to help. You've got my word.
Hi everyone, I'm Colin Foltz.
And I'm Kate Pelot. Colin and I work together at FIRST to deliver kit parts to FRC teams, making the lists
and checking them twice.
We're happy today to highlight some of the new components of the 2012 kit. The kit is evolving into a system that includes actual parts we ship to you, first choice, and supplier credits. We realize that the process is becoming more complex, but we want to give you access to the biggest variety of the best stuff possible.
Let's talk about first choice. Here's a quick recap. It's an online extension of the kit of parts that helps us to accept donations of items and make them available to teams for free. It was piloted last year, and the feedback from you included some great suggestions.
For example, many of you requested a longer order window. So this year, teams will be able to place first choice orders right up through championship.
AndyMark has been able to adjust the order process instead of the category method. You know, where you can have 3 parts but no more than 1 from each category. Teams now have first credits in their account. They use them to select first choice items based on each part's credit value.
The great team at AndyMark has agreed to manage first choice again this year, and we couldn't be more thankful. All right, Colin, let's tell them what else we have new this year.
Well, several companies like DigiKey, BaneBots, and Inventables want teams to be able to select the most appropriate parts for their application. So you'll find product donation vouchers, or PDVs, in the kits this year. These PDVs work much like the Bimba and Gates donations. You can contact the supplier directly and request free parts that fall within the parameters of the PDV.
That's slick, but it's not a gift card, right?
Right. It's just a bit different, with no cash value, and some of the parameters vary. Each supplier's PDV completely covers the value of the primary item they're offering. It's not a $20 gift card for a place where the cheapest item is $100.
The vouchers are all different, so please be sure to read each one carefully. We want to know how the PDVs work for you, so please let us know in our survey. The next kit item we want to tell you about isn't physically in the kit. It's software you can download. Diamond Bullet Studios, a company run by a few FRC alumni, has developed a complete simulation of the 2012 game. Teams can use the simulation to try out various robot configurations and see what works for them.
We think it'll be a great brainstorming tool for you to try. It's being released today.
The assortment of motors is different this year, with additions from companies like Innovation First, Denso, and AndyMark.
FRC has also teamed up with the Automotive Recyclers Association to help teams that head off to salvage yards find parts. Each team can get up to 6 motors from any salvage yard that participates. But if you're not near an ARA member, they still have you covered. They'll connect you with someone who can take your order.
Now the rules are pretty specific about motors. You'll get 17 motors in the kits, but when you read the rules, you'll find that you're allowed to use up to 22 on your robot. There are other new items we're excited about including this year too. For those of you who haven't heard, Microsoft has donated a Kinect for each team. We also have a 4-slot National Instruments C Rio that's just in the rookie totes.
We think that teams will be really excited about the ultrasonic sensors that were donated by Max Botics.
Parts from eStop Robotics that help teams secure their batteries to their robots.
Plastic, pneumatic, push-to-connect fittings from Parker.
And a Lazy Susan from Triangle Manufacturing.
Well, I have to say, it's been a lot of fun putting this together.
I agree, and I'm looking forward to seeing what all the teams do with fun stuff.
Good luck, teams.
We'll see you out there.
Hello, my name is Anish Chopra. I'm the President's Chief Technology Officer, a role that President Obama created for the very first time that has me reporting straight to the boss to ensure that our country harnesses the power of technology, data, and innovation to solve our biggest challenges. Serving as our first Chief Technology Officer, it's all about doing something new. And that's what you will all experience very shortly as we get started with this year's FIRST competition. When I was at the championship last year, I knew that you understood it wasn't just about winning the competition. It's about building for the future. Creating a community that makes our world a better place through advances in technology and innovation. Now, we can only do that if we build the jobs and industries of the future with a workforce that's capable in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. You are the workforce to that future economy. Now, let's move things forward by giving you some really important information.
Hi, I'm Alex Kipman, Head of Product Incubation on the Xbox team and one of the inventors of Microsoft Kinect. We designed Kinect to make games and entertainment more simple and more approachable, but the technology has so many potential uses beyond the living room. I'm very much looking forward to seeing what you do with it with your robots in the FIRST Robotics competition. Science and technology have come so far in addressing some of the world's toughest problems. And yet, your generation will take on even bigger challenges and advance technology even further. I'm really excited to work with you to invent that future. Today, I want to challenge you to push yourselves. Shift your perceptions. If you think something is impossible, try maybe calling it improbable. Then tackle each improbability as it comes your way. Without this point of view, Kinect would have never been the reality that it is today. At Microsoft, we are committed to empowering youth like you to imagine and realize your full potential. We hope our support will help you move from opportunity imagined to opportunity realized. I really wish you great success in this year's FIRST Robotics competition.
FRC is excited to announce a new sensor for the 2012 season. With great thanks to Microsoft, FRC is incorporating the Microsoft Kinect sensor into this year's game. And all teams will receive a Microsoft Kinect with their 2012 kit of parts. Alliances will have the option of supplementing one of their robots' autonomous routines so that one of the team members can be the controller. The Alliance's Kinect station will be a field-side space in which the driver can safely and reliably gesture to a Microsoft Kinect supplied and maintained by FIRST. During the first 15 seconds of the match, event staff will keep people out of the Kinect stations to prevent any skeletal ambiguity. While in queuing, Alliances must decide if they're going to use the sensor, and if so, which robot will be controlled. While the team plugs the pigtail into their computer, the Kinect player heads over to their Alliance's Kinect station. Once the match starts, the Kinect driver in the Alliance's Kinect station can provide input to the autonomous robot, thus making it a hybrid machine. After 15 seconds, all robots transition to teleoperated mode, with the team drivers taking over control of the robots. The human Kinect driver returns to the player station to help their alliance for the remainder of the match. Once the teleoperated period of the match has begun, use of the Microsoft Kinect as a driving device will be disabled. However, there are no rules prohibiting teams from continuing to use their Microsoft Kinect on their robot. Good luck, and we'll see you at the competitions.
FIRST simply would not exist without the generosity of our sponsors. More than 3,000 of the world's most prominent corporations, foundations, and government agencies support the mission of FIRST. Thanks to the generosity of NASA, this year's kickoff is being viewed all over the world. And for those who didn't get to watch our kickoff or want to see it again, it'll be available for viewing on the NASA Robotics Alliance Project website. First sponsor NASA has just successfully launched their own robot, Curiosity, to explore Mars. It's an honor to welcome the head of NASA, General Charlie Bolden.
Hi, I'm NASA Administrator Charlie Bolden. Not only do I have the honor of leading NASA, but I'm also a big supporter of FIRST Robotics. I'm excited about the start of another season of FIRST competition and watching you have fun while working as teams, building and operating robots that perform incredible feats. Just over a month ago, we launched the Mars Science Laboratory, Curiosity, on a journey to the Red Planet. This mission includes the most advanced, most capable, and most complex robotic rover ever built. Landing in August, the Curiosity rover will spend years exploring the surface of Mars and seeking ancient environments that might have been capable of supporting life. But Curiosity is not just special to us. Did you know that one of you, a FIRST student, helped build this wonderful machine? As a middle school student, Matt Haberland thought of becoming an actor who would have a career portraying people that did great things. But then in his freshman year at Herndon High School, right here in Northern Virginia, he joined their FIRST Robotics team. Working with engineers from NASA headquarters, Matt discovered the fun, creativity, and challenges of engineering. He became captain of his school's first team. Later, as a Cornell University student, he did summer internships at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Pasadena, California. After graduation, he became a full-time employee there. Matt worked on the drill and sample handling system for the Curiosity rover, which is now speeding on its way to Mars. Rather than portraying someone doing great things, Matt became part of a team that is doing great things for real. He's not an actor, but he'll be on the world stage of science come August, all beginning with his involvement with a FIRST team. Have a great time building your robots and competing during this first season. You can do great things too as part of a team that creates a new machine. You'll also have a wonderful opportunity being mentored by some of the best engineers in the world. They'll help you discover not just what you can do now, but they'll give you insight on what you can do in the future. Last year, NASA helped pay part of the cost for the teams that won the Regional Engineering Inspiration Award to attend the championship competition. Your response was so overwhelming and inspirational to us that we're increasing that support. This year, NASA will be covering 100% of the registration cost for the championship competition for each team that wins a Regional Engineering Inspiration Award in the United States. We look forward to seeing all of your great teams at the competition in St. Louis. Our NASA team can honestly say we make a positive impact toward the future of our nation because of you. And on behalf of the entire NASA family, thank you for inspiring us and for all that you do. Good luck in the competition. I look forward to seeing all of you in St. Louis.
Thank you, General Bolden. We are also so appreciative of PTC's partnership over the years. It's my pleasure to introduce longtime friend of FIRST, Jim Heppelman, from our kickoff sponsor, PTC.
Thank you, John. And hello to all of you as we kick off another season of FIRST. FIRST is the cornerstone of PTC's corporate social responsibility program. As a strategic partner, we provide nearly $1 million of funding in support of the FIRST program. We contribute some of the world's most advanced CAD and collaboration software to all high school teams involved in FRC and FTC. And we encourage our 6,000 employees to get involved with FIRST in a meaningful way. Each year, this kickoff gives me a chance to reflect on FIRST and to express again why PTC believes in FIRST as strongly as we do. The main reason is our 27,000 customers. What they all have in common is the goal of creating great products so that they can better compete. That's not easy. To succeed and to grow, they need a talented, experienced workforce, and that's where FIRST can make a difference. When I was growing up, the world seemed very different. My friends and I didn't have computers or the internet or Google or Facebook, but we had a great opportunity to touch and feel and experience things firsthand. Google is terrific, but so is the real world. That's one of the great things that I love about FIRST. It is very real. It's part digital and part physical, and it's part human. You get a great opportunity to think and to design, and then to actually create something physical. And when you see how it actually works, you get to debug it and to optimize it and to try to make it work more like you envisioned in the first place. Because the robots and the games are a bit complicated, you're going to have to figure out how to work well in teams, to partition and manage the overall effort, and to collaborate to create a product under the pressure of time and competition. And I think you'll have some fun in the process. Well, that's essentially what many of us do at work every day. So the experience that you'll have in the next 6 weeks is some of the most valuable training I can think of. It can provide to you the keys to a successful future. Not just for yourself, but for the companies you'll go work for someday, or perhaps the companies that you'll start yourself. That's why we believe so strongly in FIRST. At PTC, we consider FIRST one of the best investments we can make in the future. So work hard, and I'll see you at the regional competitions and in St. Louis.
The FRC Game Design Committee is responsible for creating the design, the rules, the annual game challenge, and the theme each year. They've been working nights and weekends since this time last year to bring you this year's game. Like all FIRST volunteers, we are so very grateful for their work. Now meet the Game Design Committee.
Bill Miller, United States Military Academy, West Point. Go Army, go FRC.
Kate Pilat, Worcester Polytech, FIRST Robotics.
Jeremy Roberts, Georgia Tech, QSEP Technologies.
Vince Wilczynski, Yale University, FIRST Robotics.
Linda Wallace, Tuskegee U, RIT, Xerox, FIRST Robotics.
Aiden Brown, University of Connecticut, FIRST Robotics.
Paul Lazarus, Dartmouth College, FIRST Robotics.
Colin Foltz, Purdue University, FIRST.
Callum Peterson, Cirque du Soleil.
Ryan Foley, UMaine, FIRST Robotics.
Dean Kamen, FIRST.
Good morning, teams. I know you're eager to see the game, and that's coming soon. But I hope you've been keeping an eye out for hints. I wonder if you've caught them all. I have a hint for you, but I'm going to build up to it. Does anyone remember this? Safety is an integral part of the FIRST Robotics competition experience. So important, in fact, that we hold a safety animation contest every year to encourage safe behavior throughout the FRC season. I'm pleased to present the Safety Animation Award winner for 2012. FRC continues to grow and implement positive changes. This year, we have more teams than ever before. We've added 5 new regional events. Welcome, South Florida and Boca Raton, Central Valley, Madera, California, Queen City in Cincinnati, Ohio, Spokane in Washington State, and Montreal, Canada. Bonjour! We've also added a second district with 5 new district competitions and a new region championship. Welcome, Mid-Atlantic Robotics. We're well on our way to implementing a new competition structure that will allow for exponential growth in the future. With new teams and new events come new ways to recognize success. I'm pleased to announce the Future Innovator Award, presented by Abbott, that will be given for the first time at this year's championship in St. Louis. More details are available on our website. And mentors, remember, February 16th is the deadline to submit your nominations for the Dean's List Award. In the midst of all this change, we continue to make a point of listening to you, the team members. On last year's surveys, teams let me know they wanted fewer rules and penalties. I shared your feedback with the Game Design Committee, and today I'm pleased to announce that we came through for you. Here's more about penalties.
Hey First Teams, I'm excited about another season of FRC. We've made major changes to the officiating process this year, making it so the score will be accurate throughout the match. No more waiting after the clock stops while we calculate. And as Bill just mentioned, there are fewer game rules. And now to explain the details, the guy who rewrote the rules on entertainment, will.i.am.
What's up, First? Let me start it off by saying that I had such a great time with you all at the championships last year, and I'm so excited for another season of FRC. But one thing that I noticed last year was it was kind of weird that the impact of penalties on the score was delayed until the end of the match. Well, folks, let me tell you that they made some major changes on that little bug. They made it so that the score would be accurate throughout the match. No more waiting after the clock stops for calculations. And I even heard from a little bird that there are fewer rules. Penalties are now called fouls, with a new level called technical fouls for major gameplay transgressions. Inappropriate behavior will still be handled with yellow and red cards. When a foul is called, a ref will raise a red or blue flag while pointing to the offending bot, then immediately add points to the opponent's score, kind of like a guaranteed penalty kick or free throw. The ref will explain technical fouls and cards to the audience after the match. For these, players can get more details from the head ref by going to the red or blue question box on either side of the scoring table. But don't use them for regular fouls. Those will stand as called. While you get your robot on for the next 6 weeks, more than 300 volunteer referees will be trained and certified on the new system, so they're ready for the competition. So let the games begin, and I'll see you there. Keep rocking on.
Those cleaner, crisper rules are available to you by way of new searchable mobile apps. We are constantly striving to incorporate new technology into our program. We have updated how teams access the 2012 manual and developed a new way for you to communicate with us using an online question and answer system. More details are available in my blog. I want to give special thanks to the entire Game Design Committee. We've always had world-class engineers, and now we have the benefit of world-class entertainment professionals like Callum Pearson and Paul Lazarus. For those of you who don't have a full field at your local kickoff site, we will be providing a detailed video tour of the field, which will be available on our website immediately after the kickoff. FRC is poised for expansive growth in the very near future. Our goal is to get a first team into every high school in the United States and more. To do that, we need your enthusiasm. We need your feedback. We need your gracious professionalism, and we need your energy. I'm looking forward to an exciting 2012 FRC season and can't wait to see the robots you build to meet this year's game challenge. My thanks to the Game Design Committee, the FRC staff, and all the volunteers who together make FIRST Robotics competition possible. Now, what you've all been waiting for, the 2012 FRC game. Rebound Rumble!
Welcome to the 2012 FIRST Robotics competition and this year's game, Rebound Rumble. Rebound Rumble is played on a 27 by 54 foot court. Alliances of 3 teams each operate their robots from behind alliance walls at the ends of the court. 4 scoring hoops are located in each alliance wall, positioned at 3 different heights. A low barrier extends across the middle of the field. 3 bridges cross over the barrier. Each bridge has 3 positions, tilted toward either end of the field, or balanced level and stable on the central barrier. Rebound Rumble is played with compact foam basketballs. The objective is to score as many basketballs as possible in the hoops at the far end of the court. The higher the hoop, the more points it's worth. Robots can track the reflective vision targets above each hoop. This allows them to target hoops from anywhere on the court. The match begins with each robot touching their key at the far end of the court. Robots can be preloaded with 1 or 2 basketballs each. A 15-second hybrid period starts the match. During hybrid, robots can score basketballs using pre-programmed instructions. Every basket scored during this period gets a 3-point bonus. During the hybrid period, one alliance player can command their robot by signaling to their Kinect motion sensor. At the end of this period, human drivers step forward to take the controls. As the teleoperated period starts, teams command their robots to score as quickly as they can. Balls can be scored from anywhere on the court. The top of the key is a safe zone. Robots shooting from here are protected from interference by their opponents. But robots not touching this safe zone have to deal with defending opponent robots. As balls are scored, they are returned by players at the corners of the court. Robots can only hold 3 balls at a time. Once full, they drive the length of the court to score. They can use the bridge or cross the barrier to get there. Near the end of the match, robots drive onto their bridge and balance it for bonus points. 2 robots on their own bridge will get even more points. Each bridge can fit up to 3 robots, but it will be a tight squeeze to get them all on there.
Uh-oh.
In qualification matches, both alliances earn cooperation points if they work together to have red and blue robots balance on the center bridge. This is critical for the team's tournament seeding position. Cooperating will be just as important as winning if you want to be successful. Good luck, and we'll see you at the competitions.
Hi, I'm Shane Battier of the Miami Heat. There's nothing more exciting than the start of a new season, and I'm proud to help launch the 2012 FIRST Robotics competition game. When I heard about FIRST, I thought, oh, that's cool. Just like the game of basketball, robotics requires teamwork, good coaching, and of course, hard work to be successful. Good luck.
Thank you all for participating in FRC. Remember, stay connected to us here at FIRST. There's lots more at usfirst.org about the game and the field. Now, here's the code to unlock the manual. See you all out there.
Bula Bula and go teams.
You got this. Good luck.
Go teams.
Hey teams, drive it like you stole it.
Work hard, play hard, have fun.
Have a good build season, teams.
Sell those balls. Work hard. We'll see you out there.
Have fun, good luck, and don't abuse your mentors.
You guys are fantastic, unbelievable, out of sight. Make it dance.
See you out there.
Go FRC teams. Have a great 2012 season. Hope to see you on the road.
Good luck, teams.
Good luck. See you out there.
Woohoo, FRC, good luck. Hey, FRC, this is Betsy Daniels from FLL. We wish you a lot of luck this year. Have fun.
Go Teams 2012.
Go teams! Go teams!
My thanks to all the kickoff coordinators who helped make today happen. Go teams.
Have a great 2012 FRC season. Go Teams.
Go teams!
Come on down and join the fun at FRC.